If you would like to receive a link, if you're not on the APPICS app already, of course, you can send a message on Telegram to Josephine right now, or you can send us an email. We'll get you set up with an account. And yeah, if you want any more infos, we have a link tree where you can find different links and check out more info material. And I think we're going to do a Q&A now, so you can also ask questions in here. And that's it. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you so much, Oma, for sharing your views, and cool story indeed. Let me just ask one question that came up to my mind first of all. So because there are many blockchain-based projects that want to enter the social media space, definitely. So your core kind of argument is just the reward part of it. So saying content and creator can get something out of it and get money. Other kind of startups that want to enter the space look much more into the technical part, and it's about privacy and data protection and who knows and who tracks your data and so on. Maybe you can elaborate on that aspect a little bit more. Is APPICS going to be decentralized as regards the structure of data?
Yes, I think this is a really important point that you mentioned and brought up here. Of course, this is something we're also focused on and actively speaking with teams that are highly just focused on the security side of things, data storage. As you probably know as well, right now in the space, there's not this like one fit perfect solution, whereas like you have this decentralized data storage, you know, like there's been attempts like with Sia Coin and other ones, but you obviously, in order to scale a platform, you need to have the technical capabilities, and we're ready, like for us to say we're going fully decentralized and make it available for people to be able to take care of their own data. But I think it's a timely process. It's not going to happen overnight. I don't think we're there yet. And at the end of the day, what I also, like I said in the beginning, we're not, or not to say it this way, but I think with centralization in general is not the overall issue. It's more like, it's more about having those people that do, that are able to sort of shape a direction, be able to take the right to make the right decisions. And what we do is we set up for the community to be able to vote on things and decide for themselves. So we don't take the decision, but it's up to the users to decide what direction we go. So the same goes for security, for data storage, and any of those decisions. We always look at what's the best for the community and what can we do to improve it. And so we've been in active talks about this. And again, you can track all the transactions, of course, are on the blockchain. When it comes to data storage, again, right now it's quite, I mean, if you do have a solution for a decentralized server base, I would love to look into it. But as of right now, I don't see the space being there yet. But I do see us moving in that direction.
Okay, which is a little bit into the direction of a question that was put by Philip into the chat. So if I understand correctly, the APPICS interactions are on a blockchain, of course. However, the data and the user profiles are currently stored on a centralized server that's operated by APPICS, right?
Correct.
Okay. There's another point. How do you avoid cartel creation? I think that's something everybody has in mind when it goes about big pocket and who has voting power and so on. What are your ideas about probably becoming kind of having some very, very large whales on the system that can kind of impact everything that's on the platform?
Yes. So firstly, what I just wanted to mention is that with the points of sort of centralized points, I think when you go fully decentralized, there is one issue, and this is when you do it too quickly and you're tackling the mainstream. You want to scale into the mainstream world. Most people, and this is just from own experience, they sign up, get their private keys or whatever it is, and then after a week or so, I've gotten emails like, "Where's my password? How can I restore it? How do you do this? How do you do that?" So right now, the world is still in that space where you don't necessarily are in the mind state of I'm responsible for everything, right? You want those third parties to look for. And so we want to make that transition happen. But in order to do so, we need to make sure that we don't scare away people. We don't scare them away and say, look, everything is on you, right? We can't do anything. If you forget or miss your password, there's no way to restore it. You could lose everything. So again, we're talking about a social media platform. We're not an exchange or a wallet that is about being a financial instrument, but we're a social media platform that lets you earn, right? So I just want you to keep that in mind. Whenever you're asking like about data and security, yes, there's the aspect of we want things to be centralized. We want it to be in the control of the people. But then also there's the aspect of how much do the people actually want all the responsibility, essentially. And then, yeah, to the point that you mentioned of whales being on the platform, it's kind of like that. And so if you look at society and if you look at the social media space today, you have people that have millions of followers, and then you have people that have thousands, that have 100,000s, that have maybe 10 followers, right? So of course, it's not going to be that on a platform where everybody has the same followers, the same amount they earn. But the big benefit, of course, is that you can become that expert. You can collaborate with other people. And we also have the category judges for that to detect quality content and then also filter it. Make sure that if there is some abuse or spam happening, right now we have our ambassadors, we have people responsible, experts in every single category that look for people, for spam accounts, that look for injustice in rewards and things like that. So we have an organic filtering system for that, and then also some automatic tools to detect it. So there's a few routes we're taking with that, and I think it's just going to expand over time, and it's going to be a community effect, because at the end of the day, we want the community to be self-regulating, right? Instead of, again, imposing those controls.
And even for content filtering for hate and for pornography and racism, what's your kind of recipe to handle this?
I mean, as you are aware, there is the flagging mechanism, so you can report spam, abusive content, things that aren't aligning with the guidelines that we set. And again, it's a community effort. So you have people, as soon as they detect it, and they already have a platform, a reputation on the side, because they've been positively contributing and they have earned the power and the right to sort of filter and mitigate such content. I think that's really the way forward, because at the end of the day, you don't want the centralization. You don't want like one person being that, but then you also needed the regulation, right? You can't just make it you could make it a free speech platform, but then it might not be kids friendly, or wouldn't be able to go mainstream in a way that other social media platforms have. And so we need to find a balance within that and say, yes, there are regulations and ways that we can detect and we can eliminate or remove rewards, make content become invisible if there is such abuse. But then also it shouldn't come directly from our team, but it should come from the community. And this is the team we already have set out. We're expanding it pretty much every day. We get requests of people just wanting to be a part of it. They do it naturally, they report it, and then more people look into the case, and if they agree, then it gets removed or flagged. And so that way, also not only the rewards go down, but the reputation of an account as well, right? And then you see the account has no reputation, has 0 rewards, and from there on, it has no power.
We have a bunch of additional questions. I think we addressed more or less the issues Philip had, and Niklas is asking, is the APPICS price connected to its scalability? And I think this goes a little bit to the tokenomics, and maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit more, because that's quite interesting if you want to set such a system.
Yes, so for the scalability part, and again, this has been a big part of what we're working on right now, is the onboarding process. In order to scale, you need a registration process that is automatic. And this is also why, but like, why haven't you already launched on the app or Google Play Store and you've only been invite only? It's because as most of you who are in APPICS know, that if you have an Android phone, for example, we have to manually accept it, and we actually have to accept their invitations to then onboard them. And so obviously that is not really the way to go forward or to scale. And so with this new update that we're bringing out, a migration, we're going to be independent on our own protocol. It's going to allow us to create accounts instantly and without having those fees that were there before. So before, accounts were really costly, and so this is going to be much more cost efficient, and that allows us to scale. And we will do a full announcement soon with all the technicalities as well, as to what exactly the protocol is about and the blockchain it's based on.
Okay. So then someone's asking, when will APPICS switch to your own blockchain? Because currently you are using the Steem blockchain. No, I think you have already switched, right? That's a technical thing for some insider.
Yes, so we have the Steem blockchain, but we're also at the EOS blockchain. We have it intertwined that you can directly switch your token within the ecosystem. But yes, so right now we're in the process of that migration to switching to an independent solution where you'll still be able to cross-post onto Steemit, onto Hive, and get those rewards. But for us, we're just going to be then independent and don't have to rely on any updates coming from Steemit.
Okay. You mentioned that you intend to establish the APPICS token to give even donations and to make payments within the network. There is already this other network that recently wanted to launch Libra. What's your view about Libra? Is Facebook trying to do the same that you envision, or to what extent will APPICS offering be different to a Facebook, including Libra?
As far as I know, Libra is a stable coin. It's not really meant to be a form of reward or support or empower the community in any way. Again, it's just serving. It's another business model for the company. And so I don't see it being a competitor. In any case, I think it's more of a marketing tool for us to use, because people are going to be more familiar with a form of token, of payment, of crypto. And yeah, I think it's great. And I also in general don't see like the competition aspect. Just like you have Twitter, you have Snapchat, okay, Snapchat maybe, but Instagram, TikTok is taken over now. And so you have those different environments and different economic or social networks and economies, communities that are serving different purposes. And I think ours very clearly differentiates itself from all the others.
Okay. But if you think that APPICS token might be used to really do payments, do you intend to establish a full KYC and anti-money laundering process for setting up new wallets? I mean, because you're essentially offering a wallet within the app, right?
Yeah, I think there's going to be levels depending on the amount of payments. And then again, we have to look into different regulations because it's different for each country, the types of KYC. And so, of course, we're not going to do anything that's going to sort of be a point where of infliction, or where we're going to be able to, or where we're going to be what's the word? Oh. What was that?
Someone is not muted properly. Let me check. So now everybody is muted, even you, Uma. But I can switch you on.
Hello? Okay.
Okay, we're getting to the end. There is another question that goes into the tokenomics direction. What's the market cap of APPICS, and what will be the future road once we have all APPICS token circulation? How will the rewards be generated then?
Yes, so we do. So the way it works, and this is also sometimes what people get wrong. So there's like a total supply, which is like 240 million. We have a circulating supply, 160 right now. And then of course, there's like a number that is set very high so that we can work, that is essentially created for future calculations. So to project if APPICS goes to the year 2030, those are things you have to think about. Do we have enough tokens that we can supply? And after that, the way I understood it also from a lot of other projects that we've been looking into, the way you can do is you sort of mint tokens by the demand of the community. And so there are variables that you can change depending on how fast or how the company evolves and grows, which is important. And so you do set a number that is close to something like infinity, just in order to be able to continue the work. But this is not something where we're able to just bring more tokens into life or completely crush the inflation, whatever it is. So this is all written down, and then it has to be confirmed via consensus from several people.
So that's already in the algorithm as a smart contract established in the APPICS token itself. Is that available? Is there a kind of technical description of the token and the inflationary processes that are implemented there available?
Yes, there is. I believe it's not on our website. The white paper is quite outdated, but we will publish all of that also with a new update, because then again, our entire tokenomics with that have also shifted from, I mean, the white paper I think still talks about SMT being sort of, that's the APPICS token, which didn't happen. So now, of course, we had to move a lot of things around and build things in-house. And so with that, our tokenomics have changed a bit as well.
All right. So I think we somehow addressed this issue. There's another question. Any update on the verification badge for accounts? That's a beta user that wants to have a new feature, correct?
Yes, so verification, of course, it's in the works. Let's just say that. I can't give you a date right now, but badges in general, fun challenges and just ways to incentivize users we're actively working on, and verified badges is one of them. And I think it makes sense also with that with the main launch, with the transition of not just being on like having a Steem account, but really being fully migrated onto APPICS, and then having those verified accounts and things like that. Because again, your accounts are going to change. It's not going to be the same as it is right now.
All right. There's one other specific question. It appears that your tokenomics are quite something people care about. Are there any plans, if there are too much APPICS in circulation, any plans on burning tokens? Is that part of the token model?
Not part of the token model. If there's too much, I mean, of course, like the burning of the tokens did happen after the ICO that we did. Yeah. But after that, it's not set out for other than for a specific cause. If it would be like, okay, it's necessary in order to counter something. Again, we have, the great thing is with those contracts, you do have the flexibility to change a lot of the variables, but then it can't just be done by one account or one person, but it has to be decided via consensus.
Okay, maybe looking into the past. I mean, it's always crucial to share the key learnings. APPICS belongs to the very small number of companies that made and launched a successful IPO and ICO, sorry, yeah. and is still around. To be frank, and what are your kind of most important learnings from the recent months? What went well, what went not so well?
In regards to the ICO, or?
No, and since then, development of APPICS.
Yes, I mean, there's been a lot of changes. So the one thing, obviously, of course, is that initially we intended to have a different type of technical structure where we would be focused on marketing and branding a lot and sort of having this tech partner. But now we've really built everything in-house, and there's been a lot of additions to the team on the development side. that we had to take care of. And I think so working very closely with the development team is something that has been very present in the last few months. And then also just building out and growing our community. So community building for sure has been and still is one of our not only strengths, but things that we focus on to make sure that we have the right go-to-market strategy, are launch ready, and then moving forward, even for years to come, have that support system. And that's also just something I want to mention. If there are other projects out there, you can reach out to us. We also do offer some services to help with community building, do the right approaches. Just to also, again, support it in the space and sort of spread that knowledge, because most people have, or most projects do have great technologies, but don't really know how to structure an active and lively and engaged community around that. And I think that has been the focus, just making the user experience within the app better. But this has been, and again, it's really difficult to understand for people. You might be using the app and you think there's not really a lot of updates coming all the time. But for us, mainly, it's just been a lot of work in the background, doing a lot of tweaks, constantly updating to make sure that we have those bugs. There were a lot of course, bugs that come up when you do software development, to eliminating those, making sure we have a very strong foundation. And at the same time, just building on top of that in the background. And so some of the things I mentioned with the messenger, with the live stream coming, with all the campaigns, the purpose-driven campaigns, we have brand partners, influencer network. So all of that has been in the works and has been the focus the last few months.
Cool. What time do you expect to have the alpha version freely available to everybody?
We expect it to be this year, but more I cannot say. Yes.
Cool.
So
perfect.
That is.
Uma, thank you very, very much for sharing your views and explaining what the future of social media will be. Thank you, everybody, for attending. It was great to have so many people from the large worldwide global APPICS community joining today. I would be delighted if some of you continue watching what HBI, Hanseatic Blockchain Institute, is doing. In 2 weeks' time, we will have another startup from Hamburg, Finexity. They do tokenization, which from my point of view is one of the other pretty cool projects and trends we will see in the blockchain space. Please feel free to follow us either on our website or on Meetup, where we are quite active, and the other social channels we are not yet actively playing on them, but I think it's a good time for us to Arvid to start using APPICS for our social media networking. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening, and particularly very, very many thanks to you, Uma.
Yeah, thank you all also from my side. Once again, a big shout out also to our ambassadors who've been extremely supportive and active. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you on APPICS. Thank you. And thank you, Moritz.
Okay, tschüss, danke.
Tschüss, bye-bye.